An announcement from the great and powerful Oz.
I thought it over, and green is dead, till I changed my mind, the color's red.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Red Angel, and I know we have had a little bit of quiet time when it comes to Red Angel Radio, but we are back with new and exciting guests. I have on the line with me Robert Zeff, who is a music publisher, and all of my indie artists, you need to grab your paper and grab your pens because it is time for school. Thank you so much, Rob, for joining us.
You're very, very welcome, Kenya. Hello, everybody. How are you? My name is Robert Zeff with RMZ Music, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, as you know, I love and I promote independent music, and a lot of times I get either a lot of questions or I come across individuals who they want to make their music, but they don't necessarily have all of their ducks in a row to make sure that that single is a success or that they've just covered their tracks. And you have been involved in music for quite some time. First, I want you to tell everyone how long you've been involved in music.
Sure. Well, I've been involved all my life. As a listener is where it got started, just being passionate about all types of music, and then that kind of evolved into wanting to get into the music business and figuring out a place to start, which led me to where I am today. So all my life in the business as a listener, fan, and then, about 98 to 2001 is when I got involved heavily with managing, promoting, and eventually making and distributing records, which is an exciting process, focusing on independent artists with the intention of, trying to give them an opportunity to share with the world or anybody that would listen their stories.
Wow. Why music publishing? What was it about music publishing that kind of drew you in to really get more involved?
Well, that's why music publishing, because I like kind of identifying the user's needs and meeting them through music. Meaning, in what I do today, which is mostly pitching and licensing the film, TV, going after video games and commercials and feature films as we speak. You really have to understand your client's needs, just like in any business, and deliver. It's getting more competitive, and people do business with people who they're comfortable with, and demonstrate some rapport and establish credibility. And when you're talking with somebody and knowing a little bit about them and not just throwing anything at them hoping that it sticks, that's huge. Really, again, understanding your client's needs through doing research, having discussions with them, and delivering what they want, and instead of delivering what they don't want or what they've told you they don't have a need for.
Right. So you started to answer my next question, which is what is the job of a music publisher? And basically you just said it. It's identifying, the artist's needs and identifying the markets that you can actually place the songs in. I don't think a lot of people think, I'm going to say most people don't think about how that happens. Like, they don't think about that song that's playing in the background on a music video. I mean, on a video game. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, they're not quite sure how it got there, but that's where you come in.
Absolutely. And that separates me from the creative side. I've been involved with creating a little bit, but there's some people that create and they want to stay creating, and there's some people that handle the business side of things, and there's some people that can do it all. But for those that are just interested in creating and don't want to do the research of who's who, what projects are constantly in development, what are their needs, learn about their past, try to identify the key decision maker, go out and locate that person, establish some rapport, establish an ongoing relationship, deliver to their needs, and and act as a music publisher. That's where I come in. So to answer your question, what is the job? Well, the job of music publishing is it's a business. It's managing the song. It's protecting the copyright from unlawful infringement. It's exploiting the song to all the maximum places you can possibly expose it, making sure people aren't using it illegally or without your permission, and getting paid for those that created and those that share in on the income, the publishers, if there's more than one, and the writers.
Right.
And that's not for everybody to do. So that's what my specialty is, and it's taken several years of being a student of the business, listening to countless genres of music, and picking things that I think that I personally enjoyed, that I thought maybe haven't been exposed to its maximum potential, understanding the market and what their needs are, and acting as a middleman and trying to deliver to the market based off of what I believe that their needs are from past discussions. And then, negotiating fees, licensing the music, collecting the money, paying those involved, and also on the back end, ensuring that the proper credits are noted and shared with the performing rights organization, so everybody involved can be paid correctly. So that's in a nutshell the job of a music publisher.
You are one of the most important pieces, aside from the songwriter, the composer, and the artist. It sounds like the next in line when it comes to a song's success. It is the music publisher. Like you need an exceptional company or individual who knows exactly what they're doing in the world of music publishing.
Yeah, and who understands their clients on both sides of the fence. My writer, performer clients, and or the licensee, the production companies, the film companies, the networks, who are also known as the users of music, and trying to make a happy match and meet a market.
Now, can you give me just a quick example of a song's success with music publishing, like how far a song can go with music publishing, and then an artist that just puts out the song and puts it up on YouTube, like what's the difference as far as the success would go?
Sure. I mean, some people make records that are never released, and there's a lot of those out there that I've come across that have tons of potential, but because the person making them, doesn't necessarily know the business of music or hasn't hooked up with the right people that they can form a working relationship, trust, and work together on something that becomes a win-win, some songs just become unheard of. But to give you examples of a successful song, I've got two examples that I want to share. One would be the song written by Lieber and Stoller, some of the greatest songwriters of our time. take the song Kansas City, for example. That song was recorded over 300 different times. So the owner of the song, the administrative publisher, on behalf of the writers, was able to go and get that record cut 300 different times, whether it was for R&B, whether it was for country, whether it was for jazz, whether it was for rock, and negotiate mechanical licenses for the record company to go and put out their own individual release of that song, owned and controlled by that publisher on behalf of his writers. So that's one example of how a song got cut 300 different times. Now there's more ways that a song earns than just from the sale of a record. There's radio, there's TV, there's film, there's new media now, there's advertisements. But back then, that song probably most of it was from the sale of records and from radio play. Another example that maybe be more current, or is more current, and maybe more familiar to some of your listeners, would be the song "Walk It Out" by Unc, featuring a client of ours, DJ Monte, where that song blew up at radio, and then you see it in Norbit, and it could have been, and it could continue to be used elsewhere.
Right.
So that's some examples of how a song can continue to earn income. Now an example of something that isn't so successful, take a song that maybe just you heard on the radio but you never ever heard of it again. Or like I said in the beginning, a song that was just a good song that nobody ever really put any effort into exposing it. And I'm all about trying to find great songs that I believe haven't maximized their potential, that I like and believe, that I can find other people to not necessarily like it, but find a way that song can kind of coexist with a visual. And at some point, if you reach out to enough people and you understand enough of your client's needs, you're going to eventually find that home for that song.
Wow. Now, you've already said a couple of names of your clients. Can you give us a couple of names of individuals or writers or composers that you have worked with?
Sure. Again, specializing in independent music. I named one superstar who I did a deal with an independent. But here in Atlanta, done a song with Mook B, who was from D4L.
Okay.
I've got a guy out of Canada, Alberta, Canada, a producer by the name of Aaron from Beach Shack Productions. Mr. Swiss the Sweet out of Oakdale, Louisiana. Another producer, Vamp from Blue Boy Entertainment. Iceman from Atlanta, Iceman Productions. Slim Hendrix out of East Point. Another terrific producer. Bishop, another terrific.
Hey, I know Bishop.
Producer. You do?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, well, if it's the same Bishop, has long hair, then maybe we do have a common friend. Another great guy, Jay Skills out of Cincinnati, just started working with him. Steve Mash out of Phoenix, Atlas out of Phoenix, Bobcat out of Phoenix, Dub Taylor out of Phoenix, Star Beav and E-Rockin', some of my first clients out of Arizona. Those are some of the writer performers that we're working with and who have given us an opportunity, and in return we're working hard to manage the song, exploit it for the right opportunities, earn as much money as we can, and account to the other writer publishers involved.
Wow. Now because I know right now I have a lot of artists who are listening, and producers and managers and so forth, who are they're going to want to know how they can get in touch with you.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure they're waiting for this information right here. So listen up, listeners.
It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Just hit me on Twitter at rmzmusic.com. I'm always open. I listen to everything, and I mean that. That doesn't mean that I'll listen to it more than 5 seconds if it doesn't move me, but I'll tell you what, I love listening to music of all genres, and I welcome everybody that's serious about their craft to get in touch with me and send me their music so I can listen and get back to you with a yay or nay if it's something that I think that I could help you with in terms of what I got going on. So please, by all means, if you're a writer, performer, contact me. I'd be happy to talk with you more.
Awesome. Now we have a couple of songs that we're going to be playing from some of your artists. Do you want to introduce a couple of those tracks, because we're going to actually play them throughout the show?
Sure. Well, some of them are going to be an assortment of instrumentals I picked out for you by some of the different composer producers I mentioned, and then some of the songs that I'm actively working now are entitled Do Your Thing by Bobcat, produced by Steve Mash, Take You Away by Atlas, produced by Iceman, Hip Hop Celebration by Star Beeve and E-Rockin', produced by Aaron from B-Check Productions, and Shine Like Me by Star Beeve featuring Mook B, produced by Vamp, and one more entitled Playing the Fool by E-Rockin' featuring Bobcat, produced by Iceman, are some of the songs that I brought for you, Kenya. I know we probably won't play all of them, but those are some of the ones that I thought the listeners would dig. There are a wide variety of different stories, tempos, and moods, and so that's what I came armed with.
Nice. Well, I cannot wait. And listeners, we want you to chat. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you think of the song. And also make sure you get in touch with Robert Zeff. Great guy, great company, and he can do great things for you. That is, of course, as long as you're willing to do great things for yourself first. Well, Rob, thank you again so much for the interview. It was a pleasure as always.
Likewise. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I would like to help you any way I can, Kenya, further your cause with your internet radio show, and I'm here for you. So just, you know how to get a hold of me.
Oh, I appreciate it so very much. Well, listeners,
I don't hear him in the background asking questions, so just tell him I said hello, would you?
Right? I'm sure, you'll see him like on the computer chatting, definitely. Because I know that we're coming to you because class is always in session for us, and we always want to learn more and more about the music industry, as anyone who's in the industry should. Well, all my listeners, don't you dare move. We have some of that great music from Robert Zeff and his clients. So we want to know what you think. Don't move. More great music coming up for you next.